Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Let's start our video with a story about terrible management and their treatment of employees. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Happy boss doesn't want me getting my bonus on my way out? Enjoy losing half of your staff? This story starts over 5 years ago, with me struggling in a position that I was not qualified for. I'm an electrical engineer, but my degree is in computer engineering. The difference is subtle, but enough that most recruiters for major companies see computer in my name and assume the next word is science, seeing as some of my schooling did include programming. Well, to escape significant pay cut, I accepted a position as a software engineer. That did not go well, but it was a great company, and when I handed in my notice, my old manager said, "If you ever need a job, let us know." The company I was moving to was a giant in their field, with divisions all around the country in every conceivable aspect of that particular genre of engineering. But the main reason for my accepting the position was I was offered a job as an EE. Finally, I'll be working in my field. For the most part, things started out pretty well. My first performance review was stellar, as I was put in charge of a small team of hardware engineers to finish a product. Really, I was a go-between for the engineers and program office, since the PMO guys never really liked dealing with the boots on the ground, so to speak. One particular engineer was the subject matter expert, SME, and was damn smart, but clashed with management. Since I was able to adequately quell his frustrations while keeping the program running, I got a nice pat on the back, a small bonus, and a decent raise that first year. The only problem, my manager seemed surprised about it. Huh? Someone must have really liked the work you did. Well, no duh, but okay. As the months dragged on, I was put on program after program, usually because something went wrong and they needed it fixed. Not a problem, it's what I was good at. This batch of widgets wasn't tested correctly? All right, let me find the site process and rerun this week-long test to get that report out to you. The test fixture for another widget is having problems? Let me take a look at it. There's your problem, and here's how to fix it. What I didn't know going into this job was that my manager was one of the boys that our division director promoted. The director was the old manager, and once he ascended to his throne, he brought up my manager to his position. My manager and director were in sync, to the point that when an employee went to the director to complain about the manager, Mr. Director invited the manager to the meeting and told the employee, "If you have a problem with him, you need to talk to him about it." That employee went 8 years before his next promotion. Not only that, but he had a master's degree but was working as a new college hire for 8 years. Other employees left after promises of promotions went unfulfilled, yet others left because it was all work and no play. The environment there was really toxic, at least in my group. I'm put on another program and actually given an impossible task. No, it was actually impossible. When you're told to do the impossible, though, they don't want to hear "it literally cannot be done." They wanted to hear "yes, sir." 2 months of screwing around, the project was taken away from me and given to someone else who knows what the hell they're doing. Fun fact, the engineer they gave it to needed 2 months and ended up doing it the way I had originally suggested. Go me. God forbid I get any recognition for that, though. I forgot about all of that and am given an assignment that's pretty much just cleaning up after another engineer and making sure a bunch of test equipment is pushed through and sent to our manufacturing plant. This too was not as easy as described, and yet my manager was hounding me. Documents were rejected for reasons beyond my control, parts weren't available from the manufacturer, causing delays, the software team was behind on getting me updates to firmware. All the while, my boss continues to say, "Just finish this and then the fun jobs start." The issues piled up, and I started looking for the door. I'd actually had a few interviews with companies in the area, but I'd either never get a call back or I'd hear that the requirements for the position have changed. At my mid-year review, my manager actually plays it off pretty cool. "Oh, these delays aren't your fault. You can't get software to go any faster. And we've always known this particular manufacturer has issues keeping stock, etc., etc." Great. Maybe someone from on high got on my manager about his crappy attitude toward his employees. It turns out, no, that didn't happen at all. I'm just going to skip to the chase here. My manager shafted my entire group from bonuses and recognition for a major product launch. We sat there as both software and marketing/sales teams were recognized, while my manager said, yeah, they deserve the recognition. They were here on nights and weekends fixing all the issues. When I told my manager that we knew since we were also at work those same nights and weekends, the response I got was mind-boggling. Well, they didn't cause those problems you were fixing. He was, of course, implying we caused our own problems. So at this point, I was done. But thankfully, I had an interview lined up the following weeks, and I ended up getting an offer shortly afterward. Knowing we're coming up on the end of the fiscal year and our yearly performance bonus has a full commitment requirement, I called corporate HR to ask when the last day I would be eligible for would be, 2 weeks after my scheduled start date. I called my new employer and asked to push the date back, no problem. I then gleefully type it up and print out my resignation letter, sign it, and then hand it to my manager. I should also note that when I started, we had 10 engineers in my group. At this point, we now had only 6, and were struggling to find replacements for everyone who'd left. When my coworkers mentioned that I could just email him, I shrugged and said I wanted to see what his reaction would be face to face. Again, I would be disappointed and yet somewhat amused. His response was nodding a bit and smiling. Got it. So what will you be doing? I believe I hid my shock well, considering he's now down 5 engineers in a single year, but I told him where I'm going and what I'll be working on, and he just says, cool. Now I mentioned that I gave a full 4 weeks notice. During those weeks, I spent a lot of time wrapping up projects and writing detailed reports on what I'd done and how I went about doing it. My last day comes and goes without much ado. Fast forward to September of that year, I've been keeping in touch with my old coworkers, and it comes to mind that I never got my bonus. So I email my old manager with that information, and the response I get is a little unexpected. Yeah, I knew you wouldn't be eligible for the bonus if you left before the end of the fiscal year, which is why I was confused that you were leaving. I can't help you. Screw you. He admitted to knowing I wouldn't get my bonus and also that he never discussed it with me. Well, it was at this point that I knew I had to get revenge. But in order to do that, I needed to bide my time. My new company had lots of openings all around the country, but most required at least 3 years' experience. In my old group, 2 guys were thoroughly entrenched with my manager, so I didn't care about them, but the 3 others I knew I had to get out of there. One of them was someone I considered a mentee, since that was his first job out of college. He was only a year and a half into his career, so I knew I had to wait for his time on to catch up. The other 2 were at 10 plus and 15 plus years in, so I started looking for them. I'd check in every few months to see how everyone was doing. The young guy was miserable, the older guys were too. No one could get anything done, and my old manager started yelling at employees in their cubicles or blaming them for issues during a meeting where the employee wasn't present. Finally, the young guy hits that 3-year milestone, but he knows he doesn't have the skills to really go anywhere. I don't care. I get him in our system and start spamming him with job listings in the city he was already looking to move to. 3 interviews later, and he's happily working for my company and has a new girlfriend to boot. Every now and then, I'd reach out to the other 2 guys to see if they're interested in changing jobs. The answer is usually, yes, but after about a year of hearing that, I kind of give up, but keep them in the back of my mind. About 6 months later, I get a text from guy number 1 saying, "That's it, I'm done. Can you get me out of here? Oh, and guy number 2 wants out too. Here's his number." You are an awesome person for getting your coworkers out. And our last story. Karen knows the owner, so classes are free. Cast. Me is me, EM is entitled mother, M is master. That's his official title. Backstory. I help teach martial arts. I've been doing martial arts for 10 years and teaching for about 5 or 6. I've become close with my teacher. He's like a father to me. I've been to family events. I've been to his home many times to have sleepovers with his daughter. He picks me up from school. I've gone to tournaments with him. Clarification, we stay in separate hotel rooms. I'm a minor and he has permission to take me to tournaments, etc. You get the point. Story. Anyway, so we usually teach class together, but if someone comes in, I usually go so that he can continue teaching. Well, one day a woman comes in and immediately starts flagging me down in the middle of class. So I excuse myself and walk over there. Me. Hello, how can I help you? EM. Why are you so slow? Me. Pardon? EM. Next time an adult calls you over, you need to come immediately. Do you understand? I really didn't want to start something, so I said, yes, ma'am, and we continued. What can I help you with today? I want to sign my son up for classes. Okay, let me get a schedule and the payment options. Oh, just the schedule. Pardon? I'll only need the schedule. I don't have to pay. I know the owner. He said I can take it for free. Miss, I can't do that. I'm not the owner. You can and you will. Do I make myself clear? I want free classes for my angel now. Yeah, she said angel. At this point, I'm getting agitated because I have severe anxiety when I get yelled at. So I start darting my eyes around and M catches my eye. He gives me the, you okay look? And I just shake my head, no. He gets the kids doing other stuff and walks over. M, hello, what can I do for you? Finally, a responsible adult. Next time I come in here, this slow bee better not take forever. Anyways, I know the owner of this establishment, and he said I can put my son in here for free, so snap to it. Me, excuse me, I'm going to go continue with the kids. M, oh no, you can stay right here with me. You're okay. EM, so you're going to defend her? I want to speak to the owner. M, you're looking at him, miss. I own this establishment. This is my business that I built from the ground up. Now, I would greatly appreciate it if you apologize to Love is Love Harold and leave my business now. You have no right to call her anything other than Miss last name. You're agitating her and the other children, and I do not appreciate it. Well, FYI, he's very protective of us. EM, rolling eyes, ugh, sorry. She promptly stomped out of there and never came back. After that, we ended class early because M knew we were all agitated, and we just talked for about 30 minutes. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.